Hello, everybody. The standby video didn't work, but it's okay.
Oh, yeah?
Don't worry about it. Anyway, this is...
Well.
Oh, then it started working on the preview, but doesn't matter, people. We are now live. There will be a delay. This is the pilot episode for the Anonymity Tales, a new podcast of mine, which is... Basically, I bring loads of people from all over YouTube, or even the internet, really. You don't have to be YouTubers, although that'll be my primary source of interviewees, where we get together, have a chat about anything, really. Although hello, everybody. There'll be standby video didn't work things, so it could be bees, it could be politics, although I like to keep that to a minimum. But
Bees?
Bees, yeah, bees. You'll be surprised. Did you see the James Hetfield episode of the Joe Rogan podcast? They talked about bees.
What about bees, though?
Oh, they're very interesting because
they are interesting.
They communicate through dance and pheromones, and you can get crazy bees, and the reason why they're crazy is because the queen itself is crazy.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So there's many
bees
other things.
Bees are pretty fucking neat.
They are. Bzz.
I just think they're cute.
Yeah. And in case you can't hear her, I've got with me Aydin Paladin, and she's my test subject. Essentially. And anyway,
yeah, man, thanks for having me on.
Oh, anytime. How you doing?
Maiden voyage.
Literally a maiden voyage. I mean, I have a maiden with me right now.
Ooh, tip.
So anyway, I've got a bone to pick with you. And it's made me view you in a very, what can I say, negative light. Triss Merigold is not your best grill.
What about my best grill?
You know, The Witcher. You prefer Yennefer.
Oh, let's have a square go.
All
okay.
Right.
Yes, all right. So, objectively, the least shit choice is Shani.
Okay, I can see that.
Again, I've read all the books.
I haven't.
Look, book fags almost unanimously prefer Yennefer out of the two sorceress whores. Sorcerers. Because they're both kind of awful. In totally different ways, though. Triss just does so much terrible shit. And then when you factor in the games, the games actually make her a rapist. Kind of,
yeah. In the Zoe Quinn way.
Well, no, because she, so I just replayed all the games recently.
I did, yeah.
Well, because I like them. But I know why. Because I couldn't remember at first, but it was because they finally released the last book in English, and I was very excited, so I reread all the books, and then I replayed all the games, and the games give absolutely no indication that that Geralt was ever not in a relationship with Triss, that he knew her and stuff, when it turned out he fucked her a couple times when he was bored, but he was never in a serious relationship with Triss. And when you look at the games, not once over the 2+ years that take place through the first and second game does she even mention, oh yeah, by the way, you kind of were married, unofficially, to my best friend, and your daughter is missing, and we all thought you were dead, and they don't do a good job. Particularly the first game does a really ambiguous job of being where did the games start out after the books end.
I noticed that after I played it.
Yeah, other than just being Geralt wakes up in the middle of nowhere with no memories, which I guess is a fine way to do it, but he has no memories. Triss does, and never once mentions Yen or Ciri over all that time. Bitch, that's fucked up.
That is pretty fucked up.
She also just wants the D in such a really, really desperate way in the books.
Desperate, eh?
Oh no, Geralt helps her take a shit, and then she's immediately trying to hop on that D.
That's the meme that you posted, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, she's really sick, and then there's even in the first chapter, her first chapter is her sitting in sleeping in Kaer Morhen, just masturbating, hoping Geralt will come upstairs and pay attention to her.
It's okay, she can get Uncle Vesemir. I'm sure he would enjoy a younger pupil to lecture. Actually, I can't believe that's probably the first thing that Geralt got when he woke up Oh, how dare you do that? You know you have to be very careful with these things. Vesemir, shut up. Oh, I don't know if I should spoil The Witcher 3, but... Oh, Vesemir.
It's been out for like 3 years now.
I know,
think you're
yeah,
allowed
he
to.
dies, guys. he gets... I think it's quite a... They thought that in the game that he died in an unhonourable way, but I thought he did. I mean, you know, he did some
Geralt?
damage. Not damage, Vesemir. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, I was sad by that because, you know, well, obviously, although, oh my God, my brain's like, I have to like my brain's like a shitty old computer where sometimes I have to access parts of the hard drive and like you haven't done it in a while, it takes it a minute, so it's making that whirling sound.
What,
Who
like
is
your
my
current
boy?
tracks are?
Eskel, my fucking lad.
He's the one with the scar, right? Well, they've all got scars, but he's got the big one.
Yeah, I mean, they're both, Eskel and Lambert are both bros, but Eskel is BFFs forever.
Lambert and Kira Metz, though, I didn't see that coming.
I liked that, though. Oh, I think they fucked in the novels, didn't they?
Oh, well, I'm not surprised if they did.
No.
Now
I get things confused in my head. This is bad for me to be confused on Witcher lore when I really just replayed all this shit.
But anyway, the reason
my favorite part though was the Lambert, what a prick. That shit was great.
Was that when they were drunk? I can't remember.
When they were drunk, that actually might have been my favorite moment in the game, when they all got drunk and
Lambert,
were like, let's prank call the sorceresses while dressed as women. That shit's fucking apex.
That is
no.
alpha.
It was alpha. Lambert, what a prick is, I think it's actually a side mission in the Kaer Morhen area where you get on a little boat with him.
Yeah, you're hunting things or something. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember I guess I need to replay Witcher 3.
I think he's the
That'll
only
take
good
me
guy.
120 hours.
He's the only good guy apart from Dijkstra that gives Geralt shit.
A lot of people give Geralt shit, but yeah, Lambert absolutely won't take it.
I like how in the games though, Triss is probably, I don't know, she seems like the more stable partner to have because one, she's a fire mage, so there's no reason to worry about anybody attacking Geralt because she can just, you know, blow them up at a distance before they even get a chance to reach him. So there's that. She's a redhead.
She's not specifically a fire mage, a fire crotch.
All right, just like she only seems to use fire. So I thought she was a fire mage for years.
No, I think they mostly just did that. Probably like for a thematic thing.
She's a fiery redhead. She's firing fireballs everywhere.
Yeah. No, I again, the thing about who did Lambert fuck in the books? I'm looking at the chat because I'm trying to remember, who did he fuck?
I slept with Kira Metz in the game. I couldn't resist it.
Oh no, I mean, yeah, obviously. Look, did you play the first two?
I did.
Play the first one.
I played the second one first.
The first game
one
is just a fucking fuck all the women simulator. The whole goal is to bang every bitch in every section of the game.
Essentially, yeah.
Obviously, this is the true goal of all video games.
It's a shame Ciri never gets any action. She gets close to it, but
she was gonna fuck that fat guy. Also, don't talk about that too much because you don't want to know about what happens in the books if you don't.
Oh, I don't know if I want to go that far, but I've never read them, so I guess it's okay.
Very, very bad things happen to Ciri. Everyone wants to rape her. Let me put it that way. And I don't. Well, a lot of people get very, very close. And however, I would say it was potentially rape or at least probably sexual assault what happened to her with the first guy when she was in the Rats. Was that the name of the what was the name of the gang she was in?
No, that's the area. Is it Horson's?
No, she was in a like roving gang of sort of
the Red
young
Riders
teenagers that were displaced by the war between Nilfgaard and the North. The guy kind of rapes her, but then she ends up in a weird codependent relationship with this lesbian.
Is that the same band that's in the DLC?
No, I always was looking for stuff like that. But yeah, the best thing about all the DLCs Although I think that Hearts of Stone, right, is the first one with the devil guy. That was just like a great storyline, and it has Shawnee, so it's Apex. But if they finished out that series without having Regis in it, I would be so upset. Regis, the true biggest bro. Did I say Eskel is best friends forever? It's actually Regis. Regis is BFFs forever. Gotta fucking noose myself so I can be with Regis forever.
Oh, so anyway, another reason I think is because Triss has the easier personality to bond with. Plus, you bonded with it over the course of in the games, obviously. I can only speak from the game's experience. She has the easier personality to get along with, whereas you see Yennefer for the first time, she's just with the Nilfgaardians, and she's just, oh god, she's so pretentious and only thinks about us. Well, most of the time thinks about herself. Although she does it in the name of Ciri and I guess Geralt. But you can't have...
It's a very... I said this on Twitter when I was going off on my thing about it, was that the thing with Yennefer is she's a very difficult character to like because she's very complicated. And that's true in the books as well. She's also very difficult to like. I mean, she literally cucks Geralt in the books. Literally. By definition.
Which is funny, because in the game, she's complaining about him cheating on her.
I know. Well, she's complaining at you for fucking Triss, but really she should be bitching at Triss for not telling him anything when he had completely lost his memory.
True.
But the thing that's really interesting about Yen, particularly when you read all of the books, because the first whole lot of the books are almost out of chronological order. They're just these short stories. They do have an order to them, like in how they take place, but they could kind of be in. It's not very strong. And then you have what's called the saga, which is the Ciri story. So of course, the story behind Yen and Geralt is that basically they get into some more accurately gets into some deep shit with a genie that she's trying to control and doesn't really have the ability to. And it through some finagling, she ends up tied forever to Geralt through fate. It doesn't mean that they love each other. And in fact, Sapkowski has said this specifically, that nothing about the genes thing has anything to do with forcing them to love each other or forcing her to be with him romantically, because there's evidence to the contrary many times. But it just means that their paths will keep crossing. But in Shard of Ice, which is the story everyone brings up to talk about how much they hate Yennefer, she does actually cuck Geralt with this other mage, and he gets so butt blasted about it that he tries to commit suicide via Witcher.
I thought he would just go and kill the mage.
He wants to, the mage is like, I'm so sad that she won't pick either one of us. Can you please just fucking kill me?
Oh, someone in the chat says Zoltan Shive is bae.
Yeah, Chive is awesome. The whole Hanzo is fucking cool. In the books, basically, like, Geralt is just like, I gotta go find my fucking daughter because horrible shit has happened, like really crazy shit. Everyone is trying to rape her or fuck her or both, and I mean everyone. Like, the plot of the saga is essentially everyone wants to breed with Ciri. Pretty much. Can
you blame them?
Well, except in the books, I think she's like 14. But
but in medieval ages, that's kind of adult age, isn't it? Even though it isn't, but you know what I mean. They at the time, that's what they thought. Yeah,
it's also
the same in Game of Thrones. Actually, a lot of the main characters are actually kids.
Right, and I used to be a really, really huge fan of Game of Thrones, or was Song of Ice and Fire, but the thing is that, like, even when I was reading those books years ago, I was reading them and being like, I like this world, I like some of these characters, and I really like sort of the story, but this motherfucker could not write his way out of a fucking paper bag. George R.R. Martin's writing is atrocious. Have you read any of those books?
I've read part of the first one. I always get like distracted by other books a lot of the time, and I liked what I read, but I've already seen the first series, so I already knew what to expect. But I was just reading it to get a different kind of experience, more depth to it.
Here's what I want. Here's what you should do.
Yeah.
you should get the audiobooks because they are read by like a 95-year-old man. I'm not joking. I think he actually is 95.
Is he good though?
And the books are much like the show, very, very full of like pretty, explicit sex scenes. So it's like, her cunt became the world. She couldn't tell if he was inside of her or he inside of she. And it's like I'm trying to think of the worst lines in it because they always get spammed now because they're so bad. The scene where Sam finally fucks what's her name?
Oh yeah,
girl north of the wall. I forget what they're called.
Ygritte, is it?
Ygritte? Is that yeah? No, that's who John fucked.
Yeah,
Sam, the chubby guy.
Yeah, I know. Hang on,
Samuel Tarly.
Why?
He gets to fuck the girl who had the baby and stuff. He fucks her on the ship, and it talks about his fat pink mast. It's just the audiobooks actually are very good, and if you don't want to sit down and read it, it's a good way to hear the difference. I've read them and I've listened to the audiobooks and I've seen the show, although I haven't seen the last season. But listening to Grandpa's story time, read to you in his grandfatherly British accent. Now, I mean, I guess doubly so for you. It's like, just imagine Grandpa telling you about fat pink mast.
It's Gilly, isn't it?
Gilly, that's it, yeah.
Oh, she's so cute.
Dude,
you want her to do well.
Just check it out. You want a lot of people in that. The thing that you realize as you go through Game of Thrones or Song of Ice and Fire is that for all of it looking like George R.R. Martin is going to like kill off all these characters and that things have weight and gravitas, there are certain characters that have the most insane plot armor and cannot be killed. Tyrion and Arya can never die, for example. They are going to survive. And Dany, they're all like... And I don't know anymore because I can't make predictions about the show because D&D have gone completely fucking off the rails and are not basing it at all on the books or even, from my understanding, what George told them the plan was. They're just making that shit up.
That's a real shame. The thing is, he's got to finish it at some point, and I heard it was based on the War of the Roses. Even that ended eventually.
So, oh yeah, it's the Lannisters, Lancasters, and the Starks, which was what's their analog in the War of the Roses?
Well, they would have been the House of York, right? Because
Lancaster, yeah, Stark,
which
York,
is interesting.
Yeah,
that's
similar.
Two northern families fighting each other in real life, not north and south.
Well, I mean, he says that, again, about it being loosely based on War of the Roses, but it's like, I read into it years ago when I first started reading these, and I was like, I don't know, dude, I think you're... All right.
I can't really see the parallels either. I mean, I guess royal houses fighting each other, but it was mainly the house that had been in power for years and years and years and had a direct, true claim to the throne, the Plantagenets, the House of York, against various usurpers who, some of them had genuine reasons to remove Henry VI or whoever it was at various points. But in the end, it was someone who was kind of related to the rest of the Lancasterian families from Wales. You ended up winning.
The fish people?
The fish... Well, the
Yo, I'm wearing my dragon right now, my dude.
Oh, are you? So anyway...
Yeah, Hard Bastard got it for me.
Aww.
He got me this a necklace with the Welsh dragon on it. Haha.
That's pretty cool.
I was wearing it the last time we did something and nobody said anything. No one called me a fish person. Nucka.
Fish? What? Since when were Welsh people called fishes?
Nucka always calls Welsh people, or at least me, like web-toed sea people.
Oh, I don't
know. He's a Nucka lovey, so I don't know what room he thinks he has to talk about.
It's
being
because you're
fish
inbred.
People.
That's what he means, I think. And I guess an inbred thing is webbed feet. But anyway, part of the Anonymity Tales things.
Fuck you.
I mean, I'm northern, so maybe there's something there as well. Webbed feet or webbed hands. But anyway, part of the podcast is we get to understand your origin story somewhat. So the first thing I've got to ask is, what made you choose this? What made you decide, I'm going to do a very autistic YouTube channel where I show all my citations?
I don't... Okay. I've told this story before, but I guess it always bears repeating, because the thing too about after having, you know, like probably some people probably don't know, but like I got DOS.
Spice it up for those who don't know.
Yeah, and after all that stuff, people come out with like the weirdest, craziest fucking mythologies about you. I think that it happens no matter what, where people will just create, you know, fantasy stories about somebody, and it's normal actually from a psychological standpoint to do this. Oh God, you asked me a question and I'm getting into the answer without actually answering it.
Take your time.
No, I mean like I'm the psychological for, you know, it's hard for me to do that, or to not do that. I mean, but it's normal for us to do that because we're actually we're seeking to reduce uncertainty. It's called uncertainty reduction theory. And we're generally speaking, or we want to do this because we want to know more about people. But one thing that happens in the sort of anonymous or pseudonymous sphere of the internet is, yeah, mythologies get made up. So, for the whatever time I've ever said this, basically, before the 2016 election, I think I wasn't really doing cosplay. I didn't really have any hobbies and stuff. And my dad, I think, started to get really irritated at me constantly texting him or messaging him and just saying, like, did you read this thing in the news today? And he liked talking to me about politics. But he said to me, probably, I guess, around Thanksgiving, why don't you make a YouTube channel and go take that autism and and like that concentrated shit and say it at other people and not just at me. And that's part of it was because my dad said it was probably a good outlet, which it has been. For
rather than him being the outlet.
Yeah. And the other thing is because, as I've always said, college, particularly in the United States, is very expensive. And I don't think people should have to pay anything like the amount of money that they have to pay to get a degree in, let's say, communication studies, at least an undergrad degree.
To quote The Simpsons.
Well, I have 3 undergrad degrees.
Good lord.
It's not, there's no S. Communications with an S is a journalism degree. Without an S, it's comm studies, aka social psych. Still, i.e., bullshit.
You read, then.
You shouldn't have to pay to do that. So if I can in any way provide information or make information more easily accessible while relating it to topics of current interest or, you know, that are happening in the media or in the news, then I think that's a good thing. My only goal in wanting to even become an academic was very simply to, quote, I've written this exact line so many times, to contribute positively to the wealth of human information. Or the wealth of human knowledge.
A noble goal, and something that you can do very easily with the tools at your disposal. You no longer have to just use a journal outlet to do that kind of thing. You've got YouTube, you've got, well, Twitter's not the best for writing it all down, but it's good for, you know, spreading it around. And yeah, like, I don't see any reason why you can't do that while you're having a YouTube channel. I mean, I know people don't like Thunderfoot, but he's basically been able to do that, but with YouTube, and he's managed to get into scientific journals because of his YouTube work. Like, they see that as genuine scientific work, because he does do experiments, and you, of course, do social psychology, communications type stuff. So yeah, I see no reason why after, I don't know if you still do your PhD, why somebody can't look at this and go, this girl will do.
Either way, I mean, like, you know, I know people don't like Thunderfoot too, but what he does, at least with a lot of his science debunking and stuff, like, you know, talking about why those solar panels, the solar roadways don't work, why that what's Elon Musk's space tube, people who like to live in tubes and push buttons, I don't know, thing, that kind of stuff is interesting, and it's good, and I think it's a net positive to society at large to provide information. However, I think for my thing, it's more like, let me provide this theory information about this stuff involving how people interact, how we behave, how we communicate, because although it's really interesting and often very, very practical information, I don't think you should have to go pay $40,000 to get a degree in it, when
Oh no, shouldn't be.
there's no reason I can't sit here and essentially and actually can and have considered putting up just straight lectures. But
Like
and
Jordan
that's what
Peterson,
I'm
right?
doing very slowly with the statistical stuff. Yeah, I hope that in maybe a year I have essentially a like couple week course set up that or that I could say like, hey, this is an introduction to statistics class.
The Great Courses Plus, but it's Aydin Paladin. So, Aydin, who were your influences? Who made you decide, you know what, this YouTube thing's good, or I can do that?
Oh, I guess like my biggest influences on it, as I said before, it's gonna be well, one is almost he shall not be named, but the biggest influences for me in deciding to do it are gonna have to be Naked Ape and Braving Ruin, and you know that guy T. Actually, it's funny we still have not directly spoken.
I can make
But
that.
I
I
realized
can
on
arrange that if you want.
Oh, I've talked to him on Twitter a little bit, but like not directly. We just haven't gotten around to it. It's not. I don't think it'd be a thing. It's more like I realized on my old account, on my old YouTube channel, or not just like my old Google account. I think I started following him like 6 months after he made that channel, if even that much.
Wow.
He was one of the first people I ever remember following on YouTube, which was 6-7 years ago, for political stuff.
Wait, has he been going that long?
He's been around for a while.
Wow, I only thought it was around like
been, like,
2013, 14, something like that. That's when
It's
I
been
first
that
found
long,
out.
though, dude.
Whoa.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it
Has he
been that
changed
long.
in any way, or is he still the same?
He has moved further. I think he's gotten a little bit more extreme in his libertarianism, more ANCAP, and also understands now why there might not just understands, but accepts the sort of overlap between fascists and ANCAPs or libertarians when the necessity for a mutual benefit exists.
I think this fish
then, of course,
person
the other
thing is going to
person.
be a meme. People are already posting it. So
No, I'm fine being a fish person.
So, like, Braving Ruin, was that, like, when he was Edgy Sphinx at the time?
Oh, Braving Ruin, Edgy Sphinx is still... Oh, who? I mean, the unnamed individual? That's fucking Kraut and Teeth.
Oh,
Fuck
we
him.
all knew. We all knew it was Kraut, yeah.
Yeah, I know you do, but people, I think, were wondering.
So
yeah, that was a mistake.
So did anybody influence the look of your channel? Because I've noticed it's gone through, like, the look of your channel, like, you know, the avatar and everything. Because it's gone through minor changes, but it seems to have been kind of the same thing. Only now you are actually Daredevil.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That guy's name who did my opening. Let me give him. I always forget how to say it because it's
almost as weird as Altana Volt.
Oh, it's Mahatan Grau Zan.
That's a very strange name.
HATANGRAUZAHN on Twitter. That's the guy who made all of the opening animations for my stuff. It's really, really cool.
A talented guy. He scared many people for the first time with that first intro.
Oh yeah, I know people said that it spooked them, but
I think it's the eyes. If the eyes weren't so big, it wouldn't be as scary.
I think it was just the way that the eyes opened. So now there's no eyes.
I got used to it though. I kind of miss it now. Have you seen you probably remember my intro. Do you remember my first intro?
Oh, from how long ago?
Oh god, 2 years ago. With the Monty Python night. Were you around that long?
Oh yeah. Oh yes, I do. Oh my god, yes.
I'm gonna
Especially
bring it
like
back.
one of the reasons I liked your shit.
For a video, I'm gonna bring it back. Because it's medieval themed, but I need to get around to making it or scripting parts of it. Because it requires a lot of research and stuff. It's about feudalism.
Wow. It's just weird sometimes. Like I end up in this memory hole of being like, oh my god, how long have I been on this fucking thing?
I still have it. Like, I still have it. I can send it you.
Well, I know, but it's like it's just funny to have been on a browser or watcher for so long, and then to go to the other side and then be like, shit, what? And that shit gets really weird. I was sitting in the car with Hard Bastard the other day, and he kind of intimated the same thing to me of like, how the fuck, because we both kind of made our channels sort of around the same period of time, of kind of going, how the fuck did we end up in this position of where we are, you know, knowing and being, you know, cool with people. I would say the thing about YouTube, for anyone also thinking to do it and potentially something to talk about in the future as you do this with other people, is, and this is more for the audience, I guess, though, is that it's so weird. Like, you get this parasocial relationship with all of these people because you don't really engage with them bi-directionally. But everybody's actually pretty nice for the most part. There are some really bad eggs, but everyone knows who they are.
And they know how to avoid them, or if they want to, they can troll them.
Right.
If you're
troll
brave.
them or avoid them. Most people are good, and I kept saying I got kind of black-pilled, and I have periods of more or less black-pilling, or being just angry at the shit that's happened.
Explain the black
pill. Or it
pill.
has been happening.
Explain the black pill to the audience.
Well, the black pill is essentially being the opposite of who I am as a person. So it's an existential crisis, right, man? Because black pill is essentially to say humanity is fucked, everything is bad.
Nihilism.
There is no hope. And my general opinion is that humanity is generally good. And people are generally good, and we shouldn't harm others and things like that.
It tends to plateau eventually anyway, and you get a moment of calm and relaxation, kind of like Final Fantasy X, before sin comes back.
the calm before the storm.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, such a great concept. Square Enix, well, Squaresoft at the time.
Yeah. I'll have moments where I'll start thinking and even saying like terrible shit because I'm just so angry. But then, you know, I wake up and then I'm like, maybe things aren't so bad. And I'll tell you, this is an interesting thing. And I wonder if you've experienced this too. When people come and attack me, I don't really give a fuck. Like, I mean, it can be it's very stressful. It stresses me the fuck out with the doxing. So that was all like, it was very, very stressful, high anxiety. Crap. But this anxiety, I didn't get angry until I saw it happen to people I considered friends. That's when I was like, I'm about to turn my rings around, hold my shit. I'm fucking pissed, you know?
Yeah, that's happened to me a few times, very, very recently. And the thing is, though, with me, I did get angry before, you know, I saw some of my so-called friends do it. But mainly it was one thing. They brought somebody on to shit talk about me, and she was spreading lies about me. And that was a very personal thing, because it was a very personal thing that happened to me and that person, you know, between us. So those people bringing her on just to badmouth me, because it was meant to be about a video response that I did to Some Dumb American, and the fact they couldn't even keep it to the facts, they had to go and just, you know, not strawman me, but well, they did strawman me in one case, but to, what's the word, ad hominem me, essentially, and to go that personal, because one of them knew about that. He knew about that, and he knew my side of the story, and I think he believed my side of the story until we fell out. So yeah, I mean, I think
anybody who uses pure personal attacks on that kind of shit is super fucked. Look, I don't make response videos to other people on this platform.
Kind of stopped doing it as much now.
That's never interested me, and because it doesn't interest me, and two, it's just I don't. There are lots of other people that do it, and I guess three. Then I think that my time is more well spent providing positive content rather than critical or negative stuff. And I get upset. No, that's not the right word. I get distraught when this is how this whole thing for me started, was seeing people that I all liked starting to like start a civil war with each other, you know? I liked parasocially mostly, but not all. Some I knew as friends.
I think one of the things that's... Go on, carry on.
No, it's just hard. It's hard to see and try, you don't want to be a little pansy, fairy and be like, everybody get along, which I've done a little bit, but I mean, then you look like a fag. So, but at the same time, I don't want to take sides over personal shit.
The thing is, though, you don't want them to fight too much because then, metaphorically, blood gets spilt and things aren't going to sort themselves out. People aren't going to forgive each other, and things are said and done that people either don't mean to say or they mean to say, and it hurts this person, or something happens and then everything is broken because of that. Like relationships break down, and nobody really wants that.
Sure.
Like, if somebody has a disagreement, that doesn't automatically mean it's a drama-filled thing. It's just a disagreement, and they can approach that in an adult way. But the problem is, and I've seen this for a long time. I've been doing this 3 years. You've been doing it 2 to 1 years, like that.
This is it was 1 year, yeah. January 18th.
Wow. But like, it's usually other people that force the drama onto a disagreement, and that can either make it worse than it actually is. Like, maybe the two sides will feed into it, or they will ignore it and then the fans will hash it out. But with this new it's not new blood sports, but this recent burst of popularity for blood sports is going to make that even worse, because now they're going to be doing it live and in front of each other. And like you said, it's stressful and it can get very frustrating, and will start saying things that they don't mean, and that will end up ruining, maybe, actual proper discourse, or maybe stop it from happening at all, because people want it to be a gladiatorial combat thing rather than about ideas.
I think blood sports, right, though, it has its time and place. It really does. Where it's sometimes, sorry, there are no arguments. This is not the fucking Hall of Debates. Someone has called you out, someone has talked shit, someone has brought in personal stuff, and I get why people want to go back personal. I don't like that personally, because I would rather keep things to arguments. That's why I see this shit every fucking day on Twitter with people going ham at each other, and I'm like, oh, please stop. Just let's do arguments, not bitch fits. But I get, for a number of reasons. Now, here's one, and this is going to be an uncomfortable truth, but it's partially because there is no money in YouTube for the vast majority of us if we just make videos. Because of the Adpocalypse version 1, 2, and 3. What there's a lot of money in is super chats and live debates and live stuff like that. That is essentially the appeal of blood sports. I'm not putting a moral judgment on that. I absolutely think if you're making money off of it, holy shit, great on you. I want to make that very clear. I don't think there's anything wrong with the money people are making off of it. I think that's just, it's become more popular because the super chats allow for bi-directional audience participation, which is important also for parasocial relationships.
Honestly, I don't have a problem with it. They can do what they want. It's just that it's not my thing. And a lot of people would they would think that I would actually be all for it because of my reputation for being a drama type guy, but no, it's not really my thing. They can do what they want. They can make money. It's good to see it doing well for them. It's just not really my kind of thing. Hey, Shitrat!
Oh, yeah, Shitrat. Hey, Shitrat, by the way. Destiny admitted that his fans rated me, you little cock.
Oh, yeah, by the way,
I didn't lie about that. He also admitted that he fucking one of his moderators admitted that he was sending information about his so-called LOL suit to them to keep them updated. He is not suing me. Anyway. He can sure claim that he's trying to. Anyway, David Shitrats in the fucking chat.
Let's not have David ruin this pilot episode, shall we?
I know, sorry.
we can hash it out another time, David, whenever you're ready, but not here and not right now. So anyway, Bloodsports is kind of a thing that passes and comes back around. Like, before it became a live thing. Now, I don't know if it's necessarily I don't know if it's it's kind of blood sports, but back in the day, in the atheist days of YouTube, there was a thing called the Ponage Olympics. And I think that it traded hands through various times. At one point, it was Dick Coughlin, and at one point, it was another person. People would respond to dumb arguments, and then whoever was the best or most pony would be, that's a horrible word, but that, you know what I mean, that would win. And that was kind of like a blood sport, only it was kind of one-sided. But it seems like it's kind of come back, only the response is now a two-way rather than one-way, which is probably why it's even bigger. And I think that's in many ways more to its strength than its weakness, and makes it better because both sides can kind of respond to each other at the same time, rather than it be a one-sided kind of echo chambery thing.
Do you remember back when YouTube was really, really new? It wasn't super new, but there used to be this thing called like reply videos. Do you remember this?
I remember that. Yeah, with the reply button. Yeah.
Yeah. So you could make like reply videos, and it still was asynchronicity, which is if you just the study of asynchronicity and how it affects communication. Like, I'm sorry, I'm imitating the Tim and Eric mind blow gif. There's so much stuff to talk about the effects that asynchronicity has on communication, and I mean there's tons. So yeah, you're right. I think that part of the thing is that this whole idea of live streaming is kind of a new concept. People have been doing it forever, but yeah, I think that's. I think that it has a lot of appeal because it does give the other side to respond directly. The problem is that it's not a problem. Excuse me. It's a multivariate sort of problem or jumble of wibbly wobbly communication-y shit.
Timey-wimey.
Where when you have the asynchronicity factor, you can formulate your arguments. You can be on point, mate. When you're live, you've got to think off the top of your head. And, you know, that can be for good or bad, because when you're thinking off the top of your head, oftentimes you don't make the strongest, most robust feminist argument. And, but when you have this ability to sit back and formulate out and get down there into the nitty-gritty, like, autismo details, that also can be lacking, because what often happens is people, they get like hyper-focused essentially, and then they end up talking past each other.
Wait, hyper-focus? Are you talking about autism?
I'm talking a little bit of autism, but the thing is, it happens in both forms and in both types of media, that I see people just fucking talking past each other, where they. It's like the what is white thing in the Sargon and Spencer debate. It was like they were just having two goddamn different conversations, and they were both being cockbags to each other, and so nothing was accomplished.
I think the Styx and Spencer debate, not argument, was probably a much better one, because they were actually talking to each other. Oh, hi, Guardian.
Hey, man.
By the way, people, he's a squirrel, not a rat. Two different species. Although, are they both rodents?
Hey, if you guys want to hear me sing a song, since people were saying, I think Ghastly and I are maybe going to do something about it, because I don't know if you heard the worst episode of their Saturday night streams.
Did you see my meme that I did with your song?
Oh, did you do that? No, wait.
With
did
the
you
record
do
player.
From when me and AP did that? I must have missed that then.
I'll show it you. Hang on. Let's see if I can find it. I'll tweet it to you.
It was the most fucking autistic shit.
I was looking for something.
Wait. I know you did something where I spoke Japanese horribly, probably while feeling drunk. You got to get me like kind of intoxicated for me to start speaking Japanese.
that was a different meme. That was more of an
That
animation.
was a different meme. There's too many of them.
Hang on, let me find it. This one's different. Basically, for some God knows unknown reason, like I found this video of someone testing vinyl records with a modern £5 note, because apparently if you use, I think the £10 note as well can be used, because they're both now pretty much the same material. If you put it in the grooves, it'll play the song, and it does. And somebody said in the comments, this could be a meme, and I was like, well, might as well. And I thought, who's the best example I can think of and it's you because you're the only person I really meme. So I thought, okay, that'll
Well,
do.
you're the only person I steal memes from.
I
So
know.
actually, that's not true. I steal memes from Layman all the time.
But me and Layman as well. Let's see. Oh shit, where is it now? Oh, it's on Twitter somewhere. But anyway, Layman, is he not an influence for you?
No, he was. But you know the thing? I told him this too, so I'll just say it in public now. I had watched like maybe 1 or 2 of his videos, but I wasn't like an enormous fan. I had mostly heard him on streams. And it was like after I started YouTube that I was like, oh my god, how did I not know exactly what this guy had been doing for forever? And then was like, shit, I've found my counterpart in the universe.
I would say he's exactly the male version of you, although you have a lot in common.
No. Oh no, we're super different as people, but just like it's 100% sociologically similar.
So what do you watch when you're not watching political content? What's your... I don't want to call it fluff content, but off-topic content.
Well, people are gonna like pull off my Patreon and start turning ad blocker on if I admit this. But I just bought a sweater from PewDiePie. 60 mils, no deaths. I've been watching PewDiePie on a daily basis for about 2 years. I was really into like H3. I mean, recently their stuff's been okay, but they kind of went. I'm waiting to see. Yeah, I miss Layman's old art actually. I mean, obviously iDubbbz and Filthy Frank. I'm sad that Franku left.
Rest in peace. I was going to ask you about that actually.
I know. It's so sad, but we knew that Joji had problems. He came out years ago, like 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, saying he had problems with seizures.
Yeah, he's epileptic.
So we knew he had health issues, yeah.
He's unusual. Well, is it unusual? Because he's an adult with epilepsy, and he got it later on in life. But I don't know how popular... I don't know how common that is, because I only had childhood epilepsy, and I know that's pretty common, and that tends to go as you get older. So, yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah,
and his throat, his larynx was getting
I don't know what happened. And now his larynx from doing... He said that on Twitter, or on the post about it, which is that, yeah, that... I guess doing this voice all the time ends up
but it's how
on
you
your
do
larynx.
It's more like how you do it rather than doing it. Like, if he used a proper technique, he could do it forever and ever and ever. Because there is an actual music teacher who does screaming. She teaches people how to scream properly without hurting themselves. Wow. And apparently, like, they realise all these things you do it. Like, I know Machine Head's unpopular at the moment because of the dumb shit they've been releasing, but their singer actually had lessons with her, and he said that, yeah, I didn't realise just how dangerous my technique was. So if he learned those techniques, he'd be okay. But again, I guess the older you get, the harder it is. But he's quite young. And to have it this young at 27, something like that, to start losing that ability is quite unusual.
Yeah, he must have been going ham, man. I guess, or something. I know he was also trying to be more focused because I think he's like a biology student or something.
Is he?
I think he actually is trying to do more realistic life shit, which is good for him. Or focus on his music, either or. And if he's focusing on his music and he's doing something to hurt his larynx, probably should stop that.
Although he never did it with his music. Like when he rapped, it was always a normal voice, like Pink Guy's voice. He did rap once as Filthy Frank, and that was pretty good.
That was funny, yeah. When he would do the Filthy Frank stuff
with Anthony Fantano and a bunch of fucking letters.
Yeah. No, I've loved his content's been great. People I've been watching forever though too.
It's just a shame.
I mean, yeah, I miss him. You know, I was a big quote old school internet, I guess. So like I grew up with all the Newgrounds lads, all the animators, you know, Stamper, Oni, Ego Raptor, I guess all the now, but you know, I miss JonTron. That was one of the things that actually made me really mad when I started seeing John get drawn into this shit. And let's see who else. Oh, people I love. Yeah, I love movie reviewers on YouTube. So we've talked about movies a little bit, and we might do something with that. But yeah,
spoilers.
Spoilers. But obviously, Red Letter Media, your sucks. Ralph Seppi. I'm like 2 days behind, so I just watched Ralph's new review of Chips. It's fucking hilarious.
I can't get into him, but I'm gonna try. He's not shit. It's just difficult.
Ralph Seppi?
Yeah, Ralph.
You don't like him?
Ralph. No, I don't. It's not that I don't like him. I like him, but I don't watch him a lot. So when I try to watch him, I'm watching other things alongside him. Similar things like Red Letter Media.
I do think I have to address this, though. I was accused of lying about attempting suicide. So let me tell you something, shit rat. You have my docs. I believe admittedly, you at least won't deny it. Why don't you look me up? And you go find out how much time I spent in a hospital for that shit. Faggot. That's all I'll say. About 2 years ago, yes, I did attempt suicide, and I spent about a month in a hospital. There's an interesting thing about me. Never lied about that. Haha.
So, back on topic. Do you watch I Hate Everything?
Yes, I Hate Everything. It's great. Who else? Yeah, there's a bunch of people like that who kind of do like movie review type shit. It's just like fun. I'll tell you what. A lot of times it gets really hard for me to watch political stuff because it gets so it gets heavy, you know? So yeah, it's awesome sometimes just I want to, for example, I will just fucking I'll rewatch old RLM videos over and over and over. Just reviews of movies they went to see because it's so, I don't know, takes you out of it.
You're a fan girl.
I can get it. Nah, well, only for Mike.
Only for Mike. Yeah, Mike is bae for you.
Mike is my bae, yes.
I can't decide if I'm more of a Rich Evans kind of guy or a Mike Stocklasa kind of guy. I can't decide.
I mean, Rich is thick, boy.
Boy. Oh, Sam Blake will like that. Boy. He's in the chat, or she. I don't know if it's
he's a very thick boy.
He is.
And Mike's a little thick too, but Rich is
Rich only gets thicker. Now I don't know if that's in mental age or ability or his body, but he gets thick. He actually used to have more hair. Like it's interesting that older videos, Mike is thinner and more boyish. Like, have you seen that video when they're all young talking about Star Wars?
Watch Mike and Jay switch bodies.
They did.
Over the course of 10 years. Like, Jay used to, he's never been chubby, but like Jay used to be thick. And then Mike used to be pretty slim. And then like they like changed fucking bodies.
Mike
or they changed,
eyes.
maybe not bodies, but they changed the weight ratio. They actually like exchanged 40 pounds between the two of them.
Mike used to have baby eyes, and now they're dead. I mean, did you see that photo that somebody showed me on Twitter of like Mike Stocklasa in a sort of modernist painting? But it's that same one where he's just like depressed.
I know, I love that. It's That's beautiful. Good. Oh, another person is ER. He's been doing shit for like 2 years now. ER is a fucking genius.
We're not talking about the show, are we?
He did the like Red Letter Media equivalent review of Korra.
Oh, wait, I might have seen that.
E:/R.
Anyway, got some super chats. We'll return to that.
Oh,
but,
sorry.
It's okay. I wanted you to finish because I'm not like Andy who will interrupt people. Ooh.
Oh no.
Anyway, hey Mitch, this is from I Lack Tact. You don't lack tact. glad to have found you. Glad to see you too. Looking forward to hearing more of your stuff. Duderino. Peace, Aydin. Ah, that's very nice.
Hey, I like tact.
And here's my
I recognize you.
My Maker Supporter of the Month, as pooped by Anakin Skywalker, who does YouTube poops. He did like a really famous one about V and Sargon looking at each other. Or rather V looking at Sargon, you know, when he was like,
oh, I know. I know. I sent you that fucking thing where both, didn't I? Where both you and Sinatra messaged me when I did the face reveal with Hard Bastard. Yeah. And you both said, oh, you look at Hard Bastard the way that V looked at
and vice versa. Well, you can't see his eyes, but he's looking at you the same way.
Oh, maybe.
And then
inside, under the sunglasses.
Skywalker says, "Am I too late for the Star Wars prequel bashing?" We'll get to that maybe. If
Anytime.
We have time.
I've always got time to shit on Star Wars prequels.
So he's the Maker Supporter of the month. He donated £50. I was like, whoa.
Damn, nice.
Yeah,
Awesome.
he
Thanks,
made me
man.
get off my ass as well. I have to do stuff now. So
Yeah,
thank you.
You better.
Yeah, I
We'll
made a
do,
new outro for him and the rest of the supporters because I was meant to do that. I did make one, then I lost it because my new computer died. So now I'm using my old crap one, which isn't that crap.
Dude, do you want to know the funniest? That shit happened to me.
Really?
Oh my god. I bought a new fucking computer, a pre-built when I first kind of started this, and I was getting a little bit of extra money to be like, I can set some stuff aside to buy a computer. And I bought a pre-built shitty thingy, and I take it to my dad's house. I was in a hospital, and then like I take it to my dad's house for a couple of days because I need to whatever get better.
That's what I
and
did.
I'm like, oh, I can work from here. And this new quote, it's only like 6 months old. I've never, okay, I didn't know this could happen. It like erased the hard drive. There was everything that was on it just disappeared. Also, the Wi-Fi adapter just stopped working. Now, I would think maybe if I was driving on some really rough West Virginia country roads, that would be the case. But we went on a highway the whole way. And I have no idea what happened to my new computer. So I've been using my old shit one.
The crap top, right?
Unbelievable. I think I might have spilled some wine maybe on it, though.
Ooh.
That's my fault, in which case I deserve all the hatred.
Yeah, that's probably your fault. It gets sticky and it doesn't like sticky. Apparently, like in school, we had our IT lounge, and apparently it was okay to have water and to spill that on the keyboard and maybe even the desktop. I don't know, but not anything sticky. I don't know why, but apparently
because the sticky stuff.
Yeah,
it makes it so, particularly with like laptops. But this is, well, because one day I did spill some wine and I got it immediately. This was like 2 months ago now, and I thought, oh shit. But I think I don't actually know if it affected it or not, or if it just decided to blow a gasket because it was a computer I bought through Walmart.com.
Yeah, I got mine from Amazon. It was worth 2 wages.
This one was like, I mean, this was not an expensive computer, but it was like $600.
Mine was £700. Well, $750. Yeah.
That's considerably more than mine. Like mine was like
It's the same range, really, if you think about it.
Yeah, probably. No, yours would be more. The thing was with mine was that I just needed to, like, my old computer blew up, and it just was like, I'm gonna kill myself. And
was
so
it like
okay, I gotta buy a new computer. And then at the same time I bought the new computer, I also bought a new hard drive to move the files off of my old computer. But I found that as soon as I installed the new hard drive, I didn't have any problem accessing the files from the new hard drive on the old computer. The only thing that took a while was moving the files off of the old drive. So I got really lazy and kept using the old computer.
Oh, God.
Just because I didn't want to, like, spend time moving files around.
Yeah, I can see why. I just bought a new external hard drive and just moved stuff over. That's what I did. But anyway, more super chats from Anakin Skywalker. You must be loaded. Personally, I love the prequels as much as the original trilogy. The sequels, not so much. Okay, so shall we talk about that for a bit then?
We can talk about Star Wars.
I will admit,
but I haven't seen the new one, so
I've only seen this number 7.
You can spoil it. I've read all the spoilers, so I don't care.
No, I've only seen 7. I've not seen 8 yet. I'm trying to avoid the spoilers until I see it.
Okay, I won't say anything then about the newest one.
But when I was a kid, I didn't mind the prequels, but I preferred the originals, obviously, because I watched them first. Admittedly, they were the special editions.
My exposure to Star Wars was as such. I grew up as a Trekkie in a Trekkie household.
Oh yeah, my dad's a Trekkie.
We don't allow your filthy Star Wars in our homes.
Well, he
more
did.
Serious.
My dad did.
Seriously, more seriously though, yeah, my family always preferred Trek. At least my parents did. They were more into Star Trek. That's what they introduced me to as a kid. I loved Star Trek. And I didn't really like Star Wars. So the problem with Star Wars is, for me as a kid, was that it was very unscientific and it was just fantasy, but I wanted that to be more sciencey and dry. I know that's not typical, but so or just weird obsessiveness with, even though like the original Star Trek, which is always my favorite, is not super scientific. It just
not by our
I
standards.
think you know what it is. It's super scientific if you're 6. The original Star Trek.
Or you were 21
Sounds
years old
very
in
scientific
1968, right? If you were 21 back then.
If you're 6 today, or if you were 40 in 1969 when the show, 1967 was the first year it aired, it sounded very scientific. They weren't wrong on some things, but Star Wars, it was too actiony for me. I wanted like science stuff. So I didn't really like Star Wars as a kid. I saw them, and then I remember right before the first movie came out, my dad and we did a marathon. We watched all 3 of the original movies, and he's not a fan of them either, but we watched them all just to like prepare. And then I went and saw the first one, or episode 1, and I just hated it. I despised it, man. I couldn't stand it. I thought it was awful. And then I didn't see the second one until years later.
Are we talking
about the
about
second one actually?
Episode 5, quote
episode 3, right? So the one with no.
Oh,
I saw 4 times, 3 or 4 times. I don't remember how many, in the theater because all my friends wanted me to go see it, and every time I was like, "Oh God, this is terrible." And then maybe a year or 2 later, I finally watched the second one. I didn't like any of them.
I like the original trilogy, and I don't think episode 2 is the worst of the trilogy. I actually think it's the first one. That's the worst. Phantom Menace. I think that's the worst. Because at least with number 2, you've got battles to distract you from the awful crap that's around them, and you've also got some good memes. So sand. What else is there? Hello there, as well. That comes from number 2. I can't think of any memes that come from Phantom Menace, unless I'm wrong, and I can't remember them right now. But number 2 and number 3 have memes, so you know that they're doing something right. If you can meme them,
yeah, but their memes. I don't know, man. Number 2 has that sand conversation, that entire rapey fucking relationship.
Yeah. To be fair, she, like as Plinkett said, she's probably the greatest cock tease in galactic history.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say let me put it this way. I am a fan, or at least very fond of the works of Joseph Campbell. The guy who wrote Hero with 1,000 Faces, who came up with the theory of the hero's myth. And he was friends, or at least in communique, with George Lucas when he was working on the original trilogy.
Oh,
the original trilogy, every single episode in those 3 parts has the typical narrative structure of, high opening, it accelerates, and then there's a period of like despair or struggle, and then at the end the hero comes back. It's also what we would call, under Adolf Zillman's research, narrative. This is not narrative transportation. Excuse me. Wow, that's bad. This is excitation transfer theory, where it's like it goes down into this period of lowness and depression and sadness, and then it accelerates out into the happiness of the end.
It's the opposite of a tragedy, right?
Yes, but the hero's myth always ends in this cyclical sort of thing. However, each episode in the hero's myth has the same structure of period of struggle and coming up out of periods of strife and struggle. And it occurs in 3 or 4 parts, depending on who you ask. And so we see, for example, in the Star Wars, I guess it'd be any part, but ultimately coming back to a return to normalcy. Or at least a return to the to stability. And we find not only, I think it's also called ring theory or cycle theory, but what it really is just Joseph Campbell's Hero with 1,000 Faces shit.
Which predates
Star Wars,
because that's like an ancient Greek thing, or Shakespearean.
Yeah. That's what he's talking about, though. What Joseph Campbell did is that he went through, not just him, but there were other scholars as well around who preceded him, who found that, for example, you can find myths that are functionally identical from these very incredibly isolated African tribes that are functionally identical to, say, for example, the Noah story.
So they share similar narrative functions and things like that.
Yes, that humans all kind of have the same stories and tales that we tell. The most powerful, though, of which, as Campbell would posit, is the hero myth. Because all people want to be the hero, we embody ourselves as the hero, or we see ourselves as such. And the way the hero's myth works is traveling into the other world, or the external world that's outside of the norm, facing struggles, and overcoming them. That's the most basic narrative structure.
If anybody wants an example, think Hercules, like the original theme. So, well, not myth. So he goes and kills a lion, skins the lion, gets the skin which protects him. He then has to go and kill a hydra. He kills the hydra, then dips his arrows in the blood, which is poisonous, and then he hunts something else. That's what you. And
we find many themes that are in addition to this. For example, the mentor character appears in almost all of them. It could be Yoda, it could be Zeus, it could be, there's some sort of authoritative figure that often dies, but it maybe does not die, but leaves the vicinity. Basically, yeah, read Here with a Thousand Faces if you haven't, my dude. I know you're interested in history.
Oh, I will, definitely.
Check it out. I mean, Campbell's disputed. Not everyone agrees with his theory, obviously. It is a theory. But yeah, the basic idea of Star Wars is that all of these individual movies follow in a small portion of the hero's journey, and the entire trilogy forms a circle of, at the end, Luke has, come full circle. Back into, he starts out with a family, his family is lost, and he finds a new one by the end.
It really does.
It's this very long, thing. And it wasn't until I actually started to study mythology as a concept, literary concept, that I really came to appreciate Star Wars. So, I mean, it's a taste thing. I like hard sci-fi, that's just me.
There's an interesting fact about Star Wars that you might like, being a purveyor, a connoisseur of everything Japanese. You know Toshiro Mifune?
Who?
Do you know the Akira Kurosawa films?
Right, yeah.
So Toshiro Mifune, the main guy with the beard, well, he didn't always have a beard, but he mainly had a beard, was Rashomon, Seven Samurai. He was going to be Obi-Wan. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah, he was the first choice.
That's fascinating.
But for some reason they didn't get him, or something happened.
Oh, you know why. At that point in time, it wasn't acceptable to hire
He was a linguistic genius,
Jap.
though. He could speak 5 languages.
Yes, but at that point, it would not have been, and I would say this, I'm sure that Lucas wanted to hire him, and that would have probably been cool, but the people who were otherwise involved probably said, hey, if you want this movie to be a success, you shouldn't have a Japanese guy be the actual... and that's, I guarantee why, because I don't think truthfully, that Lucas had all of it planned out, and I believe he even said that he didn't really have it all planned out the way some people like to pretend it is when they talk about circle theory.
Apparently he turned it down.
He had it jotted down in a basic way. But Yoda, kind of, for the 1980s, filled the role of being the Asian master without having to actually cast an Asian person, right?
Yeah. I guess...
Like, because he's weird and foreign.
Yeah, he is kind of like the Japanese sage in many ways, or a Chinese one, kind of. Yeah, and that's the problem with the prequels, because they kind of ruin that. They turn him into this cartoon that fights people, and it just looks ridiculous when he's not meant to be like that. I think he's above that. You know what I mean? That
I hate. I really dislike that, because of what they did in the prequels with Yoda. Because I was remembering I re-listened to the RLM review twice of Last Jedi, and if you don't want to avoid spoilers, don't worry too much about it. But I will say this, according to them, and again, I haven't seen it either, so I could be wrong, and they could be lying to me. But they said that in the new movie, in Last Jedi, Yoda acts like, remember when Luke first lands, and he's looking for the Jedi Master, you know, and he's like, this weird little midget's fucking with me and fucking with my droid.
Yeah.
And he's just annoyed and pissed off. And then he goes into Yoda's hut, and, you know, Yoda's acting insane and crazy and trying to just eat whatever, steal food from him.
Doing
and
it
stuff.
on purpose to wind him up and to test him.
It was to test him. And so then he goes into Yoda's hut, and he's like, oh my god, you're the Jedi Master. And the whole point that's interesting is that it proves that the Force is not about physical strength, but mental prowess or mental strength.
Luminous beings,
or just
are we?
belief. It's about, it transcends the physical. That's cool. That's the cool shit about the Force. The problem with the prequels is they turned Yoda into a pure physical aspect of him flipping around, bouncing off the walls to fight Count Dooku. But, like, dude, and that ruins the character.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he could do that.
Thing.
I'm sure he could do that, but I think something that would have been equally as cool was not even having to do all that. Just use the Force. Like, all he had to, like, the more like, just when Dooku tries to zap him and he just throws it away like it's nothing. More of that, or like Dooku tries to slash him, but he just keeps running out the way, or barely moves out the way, but it's on purpose. Like, he's winding him up, that kind of thing, and then he uses the Force to maybe throw something at him, or just toys with him and says things like, much to learn you still have with the Force, all physical. We're not, you know, kind of echoing what he said in the second film, the actual second film.
Yeah. I guess, but I just don't like that they even made him fight like that, because to me, the way that the Force works is more based on some of the extended universe stuff, and I know that that's nerdy shit, and it's so funny that I started this out by saying I'm not a Star Wars fan, and this being like, extended universe. In that, I don't think all Jedi are the same, because we're talking about, like, a vast universe where all Jedi wouldn't logically be the same. So it wouldn't make sense. And we saw this both in the original movies and in the extended universe stuff, where lightsabers get... I agree with some of the criticisms of Red Letter Media in that lightsabers get fetishized. Obviously, making a lightsaber is an important part of becoming a Jedi, but even in the original trilogy, they call it, like, a Jedi toy. And it would be, wouldn't it? You're talking about a world where blasters exist, where blasters are the go-to weapon of choice, a ranged weapon. It doesn't matter that you've got a laser in your hand. Who's going to win in a firefight is obvious.
Unless you've got the Force, that is, or you're good with the vibroblade, which is kind of like the cut budget.
Vibroblades are, the sort of
but even then,
normie
you have
version.
to be very, very good. Just because you have a vibroblade doesn't mean you're gonna, you know, manage. What's the word? Yeah, deflect a blaster bolt. You're just not. If you can barely use it, you're dead, because you're not gonna, you know, deflect it. And anyway, another super chat from Anakin, who's loving this. To be fair, the prequels were the heyday of the Jedi. They were, but wasn't the heyday of George Lucas's writing.
Actually, the prequels would have been... They wouldn't have been the heyday of the Jedi, am I correct? Again, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan.
The first one would have been, but then as it goes on...
It was their downfall.
It would have been the decline, but it should start off at the highest point and then slowly but surely decrease. The problem was...
my boy Crucial Bunny, hey, what's up, dude, said that the best explanation for the Force was done by Kreia in KOTOR 2, which it definitely was.
I haven't played that one yet. I've played KOTOR 1.
I would agree.
With Bastila and...
have you ever played those two games?
I played the first one. And I liked...
Hang on?
I played the first one.
Play the second, it's better. It's unfinished, however.
Yeah.
So the
typical.
end, it just kind of ends. Sadly. But, you know what, it's the exact same thing. It's the perpetuation of Obsidian always gets cucked.
Yeah.
By whoever they're making a video game for.
Unless they make their own, and then they're actually really good, like South Park. Like, I was surprised how good that was, because Obsidian had
Obsidian
really bad...
did that?
Yeah. Pretty sure they did.
Obsidian did the South Park games?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Oh god, I guess I'm really stupid.
Yeah,
I still have not played Fractured But Whole, but I've heard it's really
I love the name.
funny without.
The one thing
I know
I
people
don't
were
like
complaining about it.
is the difficulty setting thing. Not because it's offensive, it's funny, but
Doesn't it? It doesn't do anything actually though. It doesn't actually affect gameplay.
It's just
right?
that I thought it ruins customization. That's it. I'd prefer to make my own character, like in the first
Right.
one.
But the thing is that the difficulty, that when they say that in the beginning, that doesn't actually choose your difficulty from my understanding.
Okay.
It says everybody on normal, and then later, about like halfway through the game, you can choose to change your skin color, aka change your difficulty level.
Do a Rachel Dolezal, right?
I think I understand. Look, I watched PewDiePie play it, which kind of probably means I'll still enjoy the game if I play it for myself, I'm sure, but I'm high need for COG, so I don't think it will affect my enjoyment.
He seems to love it.
It looks really fun. Looks really funny too.
Do you know what I think? Here's something. Do you think they kind of got on a bit late with the whole bashing social justice? Trey and Parker. Like...
Matt and Trey Parker. Yeah. No, because they're kind of the only ones in anything like the mainstream media to do it right now.
I guess.
I mean, look, here's the thing. We all kind of get... It's very easy for us to get involved in sort of echo chambers or to perceive a sort of level of agenda setting when we only look at YouTube as our example. And YouTube, not only just YouTube in general, but YouTube and the people we're subscribed to, people who generally think somewhat similarly to us, as a representation of the general public opinion. That's a misnomer. Thus, no, I don't think they were... I mean, maybe they were later, but I don't think they were, like, wrong or something.
Yeah, that's the thing. You need more things like that in the mainstream. Just to... It's just because it's so insaturated with the social justice bullshit, and they're pushing it, and you need something to push back for balance's sake, not just to tackle the bullshit that they come out with. I mean, just look recently. That shows that the fight is nowhere near finished. F1 and darts, like removing grid girls and I forgot what they call them in darts, but yeah, like the fight is nowhere near over. Like I remember somebody said on YouTube, it's a 10-year battle. Yeah, it's going to be about 10 to 15 years. You can't just assume because you might win one battle on YouTube or Twitter or wherever that's it. That's the end of the war. No, these things take time. These paradigm shifts, and they always will be. They always will be a slow, pondering slugfest of a... Oh, it's essentially World War One. That's what it is. Not Titanic. Is that Titanic by any chance?
Zidane was just talking about Tortanic. Speaking of
what's
Star Wars
Titanic? I don't know.
and Titanic.
Oh,
The Old Republic, the online game that Bethesda made. No, Bethesda. Bioware, right? Who the fuck made that game now? My brain's not working.
I don't know.
Again, I have to like access the right stupid thing and
first
the right
KOTOR
file.
was Bioware, but that's about it.
It must have been Bioware. Yes, it was. Tortanic was Bio shit. Yes, because that's where fucking End of Rhine came from. Stanley Rue.
It's just a meme
holy
that I
shit,
don't
that stuff
understand.
was so funny. I sometimes forget which shit developer did which shit game.
Titanic. I need to look this up.
Oh no! Oh my god! Just find like a compilation video of how awful the game was. It was a complete nightmare. It lost them like $40 million or something. Some astounding amount of money.
And they're still around.
Basically, they made an online game that sucked, and nobody wanted to play it because it was shit. And then they lost a ton of money.
Holy shit. Oh my god. And then next thing you know, they've tried and done a similar thing. Wait, no. The Old Republic's not the same, is it? Star Wars The Old Republic is not the same.
No,
It's
Knights
different.
of the Old Republic is different from
Titanic.
The Old Republic, which is different from the Star Wars Old Republic games that are unrelated, I think?
Oh my god, Titanic. I need to look this up. This could be an interesting video topic.
Oh, if you didn't know about this, dude, it's gonna fucking fascinate you. They completely... Oh, yeah, Zidane brought this up, which is that, like, yes, it was Bioware, but it's not really BioWare because the
They
people
kind of published it.
Hang on, even before BioWare got bought by EA, I had problems with them because I think they were still they fucked with Obsidian over Knights of the Old Republic 2 when they had no good reason for doing that. Although, actually, hang on, I think that was the year. Was that the year they were bought by EA? No, it wasn't, because Dragon Age came out after that. It was the year Dragon Age, the original Dragon Age came out, that BioWare was bought by EA.
Yeah, probably. I think. Around about that time. Oh, you know what? I was watching somebody... Oh, was it a thumbnail? It was a thumbnail of a video. And it had... Oh, it could have been in the video. And it had all 4 Mass Effect games. And it was like just... It was kind of like a little picture of all of... So it had Shepard, male Shepard from the first one. And it had... oh, God, I've not played it for so long. The second... You know that Aussie character, the woman who's like a genetic beast?
Jack.
No, the other one. The posh one.
Jack.
Is it Jack? Yeah? No, Jack's the one with
the
tattoos.
Second one? The bald one?
No, I'm talking about the one.
Oh, no, Miranda, excuse me.
That's it, yeah. And Miranda in the second, showcase the second one. And the third one, I think it was Femshep. And then in the fourth one, it's Femshep again. But, oh, she's not called Femshep, but whatever. The graphics look better in previous generations.
They do.
Than this
it's
one.
Unbelievable.
She looks goofy, and she looks... I mean, that was on purpose. She looks goofy on purpose, but the graphics certainly were not done on purpose. They genuinely thought that was next gen. It's not. The first one looks miles better.
Dude, about 2... Maybe it might be approaching 2 years ago, but maybe a year ago now, year plus. I also replayed all 3 Mass Effect games, and I played them all on PC, so I could load my character into each thing and have pretty... tight control over what she looked like. I basically made Teal'c from Stargate Atlantis, but Stargate SG-1, but as a woman. So just a brown lady with blonde hair from the 3rd or 4th season of Stargate SG-1, where he had the blonde goatee. I've always done that. Dude, I did that in like 2007 when that game first came out. I
remember when he grew hair. That was weird.
I don't know. Whatever, that's what I do. And I kept uploading the character, and she looked, I mean, let's be honest, the character creator in the first Mass Effect, everyone, and the first 2, they kind of all look hideous.
Yeah, they do.
You're not going to make it a really great looking character if you don't use the base Shep.
I always felt it looked like bugs or traps.
My lady still looked pretty decent. She looked pretty good in both.
Was she thick?
And then I loaded her into the 3rd game, and it was like, oh my god, what's wrong with your face?
Oh my god. You know what? I remember the 3rd one looking somewhat weird and not quite as good as the first 2. Like the graphics.
I still had fun. I had actually such a good time replaying those games, particularly the really gay meme campaign DLC for the 3rd one, where it's literally just internet memes. The party one.
That was great.
I had never played that before until like 2 years ago, and I was... you struggle. When you want to fuck Tally, but she won't fuck you in the first game because she's underage and she's an alien.
Is she?
And you can't fuck Garrus.
Not yet.
Not
anyway.
fair. So then you have to wait to the second game to pick either of the decent options. And then I'm obviously going to pick Garrus, but I want Tally to be happy too.
Is that what you are? Garrus is your favorite.
Oh, Garrus is my husbando. Yes.
He's my favorite. He's my boy.
He's my boy. He's the police officer. And then he gets a badass scar. Awesome.
I bet that made him even more
weird
sexy.
Cat lizard eye blown out. Yeah.
I thought he was going to die, when that happened at first. Because you know what Mass Effect was like? For me, because I hadn't played video games for a long time until Mass Effect 1. Because of money and stuff like that. When I started to get my own money, I started playing more. So Mass Effect was the first time I saw an RPG do permadeath and things like that. And I was like, holy shit! 16-year-old me was blown away. And then when Garrus gets shot, I was like, no, don't kill him off. I've just been introduced. And he's like, my boy! My boy! Because he was, in every single playthrough I did of Mass Effect 1, he was always there at the end, along with Rex. Rex and Garrus and Shepard was my main team. Because you just pulverize everybody.
Okay, here's the question. I normally, in all video games, play a sniper or a ranger of some type. I to almost never play mages, except in Mass Effect. I think it's because Mass Effect kind of combines like magic with guns, so it works out for me. I use I go full adept 100% magic in Mass Effect and only Mass Effect. So in the first game, if you'll remember, they did this thing where they pointed out to you on a little chart at the bottom of the screen how much tech, strength, and biotics you had. And I was like, they all have to be equal! So the first time I did it, I used Ashley, Garrus, and myself because I was an adept. And then in subsequent playthroughs, I just used Tally and Garrus and didn't care that it was like 100% tech and biotics and no strength. Or like 2% strength or whatever it is. But the first time I was very, very anal retentive. It's the only reason I didn't kill Ashley in my first playthrough because I hate her. She's really obnoxious.
Well, the first playthrough I had, I bedded her. I was young and naive.
Weren't we? Well, we all were.
Yeah. I killed her afterwards, though. So why don't you like her?
Why don't I like Ashley? The same reason I don't like what's Karth's other name? Caden. They're both annoying, but I like actual Karth. I don't like new Karth. Have you noticed this? I'll send you a picture if you haven't of it. Is that Bioware makes the exact same male character in every single game that's designed to attract Fujoshis like me. And it works every time.
Is that Garrus by any chance? Is that the Garrus character?
Sorry. No, Garrus is actually not the Karth guy.
No.
Garrus is a different character. However, Garrus is, or excuse me, Alistair is Karth. Remember Karth from KOTOR?
Yeah, I remember
He played
him.
the first KOTOR game, right?
The pilot, yeah.
The guy who's like, I don't trust you.
I don't trust
immediately.
You.
And he's kind of a bitch.
At least at the beginning he's a bitch. Then he opens up.
There's a whiny, emotionally vulnerable guy like that in every single Bioware game that is designed specifically to make women moist.
And it makes you moist, really?
I fall for it every time. It's let's see, yeah, in Dragon Age it's Alistair, in KOTOR it's Karth. Oh shit, what's his name?
Alistair.
It's a Nomen in
Let's have a look.
Oh my god.
Is this Dragon Age 2?
From Baldur's Gate 2, and then what's his name in KOTOR 2? The thief guy. Who's ends up he betrayed people. Shit, why can't I think of his name?
Hang on, I'm looking for it.
I'm like, my brain is not on point
Mikal?
today.
No.
Normally I'm pretty good about
Rand?
this kind of shit. No, let's see, what are the characters from KOTOR 2? Oof, that's not correct.
I'm trying to find it.
Sorry, I have like my mic sitting on top of my laptop.
We're trying to find it, people. Please help us, chat. Tell us who it is.
I guarantee they all know exactly who I'm talking about. The guy from KOTOR 2 who's Aydin Rand, who's just Karth but more smug, and then again Alistair from Dragon Age is like double, triple, quadruple smug.
Alistair is a gay boy, says narrative.
And they're all based on a Nomen, who is still the smug, tragic past Paladin.
I don't remember Garth being smug. I don't remember him being smug.
Karth is a little smug, but he's not the most smug. There's like a smug meter on this character. Anomen is the character from Baldur's Gate 2 that I'm talking about. The Paladin who's got like a tragic past.
Is that why you're
It's
called
the same
Paladin?
fucking character. They just keep reusing him. I would say that Caden's supposed to be him in Mass Effect, but fails.
I didn't mind Caden.
I would also... Yeah, Caden, that's the guy from Mass Effect. The dude in Dragon Age 2 was probably supposed to be Anders, but they fucked him up. He was really good in the DLC for I keep saying Baldur's Gate. Anders was really good in the DLC for...
Inquisition. Inquisition?
There's too many words in my head.
There's usually too many words in your head, right?
It happens a lot. What's the Dragon Age? Anders in the Dragon Age DLC was the Karth equivalent, and then they did Dragon Age 2 and they ruined him, but he was still supposed to be. And then in Dragon Age 3 it was that one like Templar guy, but really the true husbando who followed the Karth paradigm was Blackwall.
Would you trade any of them for Garrus, or would you trade Garrus for any of them? Is the question. This is how far they've got their claws into. You don't understand.
Let me be very clear.
Explain it.
Alistair from the original Dragon Age is peak #1 perfect 100% husbando. I would literally put myself in a noose if I could be with Alistair from the original Dragon Age. I'm not joking. He is the perfect man.
Wow.
Yes, that's it. That is my one true husbando is Alistair. Him or no, it's him. He's #1. I'll put him at #1. He even goes over Daredevil and Godot because he's less tragic. He's more able to acclimate to being a normal person.
Daredevil, the man who I thought was your #1, the one that you cooked Layman over in that meme. But now there's a sequel. You cooked him.
Layman's a real person, though. Doesn't count.
Yeah, it doesn't count. Well, is he?
That's a good question.
I'm real. Don't be so racist to me. Okay, that was the worst one I've done.
Nobody can do his fucking accent.
I can do it close.
Nobody else sounds like they're from fucking Luxembourg.
Is he actually from there?
It's not even a real country.
No,
Layman,
it's just some place where banks exist, right? Or
pretty
whatever.
much.
I don't know what they do there. You know what I said to him on Twitter?
Why his accent is. It's why nobody understands his accent because it's from literally where.
I said that you have a low something because you're from a low country. Hey.
It's like French and Germany fucked each other with, but they also learn English, so.
And had a baby, and that was Layman.
There's Layman.
Right. He's kind of like a Johnny Depp character. That's what he's like.
Oh, well, you know I love him. So, but yeah, I know he gets actually like kind of self-conscious about his accent, but he shouldn't.
No, people love it. That's why we do impressions of it.
Even because none of us can do it.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting. I want someone to do a good actual Layman impression.
I'm sure if I spent months and months
weirdos.
and months practicing, I could do it. But he keeps adding new things to it.
Oh, wait, hang on. Excuse me. I'm wrong. Who was it? It was was it Harmful Opinions or Vernaculus who did an insanely accurate impression of him? Now I can't remember.
It might have been Harmful because he has probably the voice for it. I don't know. Is Layman's voice deep? I don't think it is. But
who was the person who did it on Twitter who was like, did you know? I think it was Vernaculus actually who said like.
Mind you, it could have been Wizard of Cause. He's pretty good with voices. He is an actor. It
must have been him because he said like, oh, by the way, did you know that Adolf Hitler actually was a werewolf? And he said it. It was so perfect. It was so perfectly Layman.
Or it could have been Dr.
Werewolf. Like the werewolf pronunciation and everything. And when I first heard Layman, I thought he was for months actually I thought he was Slavic because of
thought he was
the
Polish.
W and V pronunciation. But yeah, I guess not. Oh well.
I always thought he was Polish because I remember maybe because he was trying to be very anonymous. He said that he was from around Eastern Europe or something, but it turns out he's not. So I always thought he was Polish for some reason. I don't know why. Because he wasn't German, but he lived in Germany, and I assumed...
Layman?
Yeah, I assumed he was kind of like a Polish-German type of...
Layman lives in Germany, I think, yes.
But I always thought he was like a Polish immigrant, or his parents were, and he's like a Polish-German.
I kind of thought that,
that's
too.
That's quite a big demographic as well, so I assumed, yeah.
It is a big demographic. That's why I actually assumed he was Polish. At first, but then Lux, I mean, it's not like too far. But
Luxembourg.
That explains why he speaks French.
It's funny that's in a Smiths song, isn't it? Luxembourg. Morrissey references it in the song.
Oh, what's the reference?
It's in the song Ask Me, and he goes, "You're sending letters to a buck-toothed girl in Luxembourg." So Layman is that buck-toothed girl from Luxembourg.
You know, I would be like worried about saying where he was originally from, just because I don't want to ever violate.
Who knows? Maybe
privacy.
it's a bait and switch. He's not from Luxembourg.
No, he's been honest about it at this point. Oh, he's probably lying. He probably fucking is lying. He's probably a fucking Polak.
Oh, what's the other country next to it? There's Luxembourg, and then there's
Switzerland.
No, well, it is near Switzerland, but there's a little tiny one like Luxembourg. Ah, shit, hang on. Map of Europe. I should know this. God.
I can't remember this shit. Also, I don't care, though, honestly.
Let's have a look.
I could get him on.
It's okay.
Probably not. We've been on for 2 hours. We probably should end this.
Don't worry about it. I'll get him on here eventually.
Oh, get him on next time. You can just spam him and call him a faggot, and he'll get on. Actually, he might like that.
He's
I don't
insulting me. Ooh. Can I insult him in his
he'll
voice?
like it.
I like to get Nooker on. That's good. Oof.
Oh yeah, I get Nuck on right now. Let me go message him. This is the problem with fucking YouTube shit with all of us.
Well, with this podcast, it has to be one-on-one, but I will definitely ask those two for a...
Well, yeah, I don't know. Okay, so tell me this real quick as we... Actually, you know what? We should end it before we talk about the B team.
Exactly, yeah.
Do
you want me to plug Tales from My Wife's Son? I can do that.
Hey, everybody, here's the thing. Do you like role-playing games? No? Then here's what you should do. Is go subscribe to Nakalavi on YouTube. It's spelled, excuse me. It isn't spelled the way it's normally spelled. It is spelled... Oof. What is it?
Oof. You say oof weird like a Canadian. Oof.
I have weird pronunciations of all kinds of shit. Wait, where the fuck is my...
It's Liechtenstein I was thinking of, by the way.
Can you help me spell it? Like we're on Sesame Street?
You. Hang on. In the chat, Nuka... there.
Yeah, Nakalavi. There you go. It's because it's Lavi, yeah. Go and subscribe to him. And you get to watch us be... Or at least, excuse me, you get to watch me be terrible at Pathfinder, and other people play well with me. And we have an extremely good GM.
Bill. Varangian Bill.
Yeah,
on
Bill
Twitter.
is awesome.
And occasionally you might see me on there. I'm part of the B team.
Yes.
So when Aydin's taking a break with the rest, doing whatever they do, out of game, whatever you do, I don't know what you do.
I can't believe I didn't die. Did you watch last week or like 2 days ago's episode? I should have died. Bill just like basically saved me and made me not die.
Yeah, well, Nuka died though, didn't he? And I'm pretty sure
Nuka always dies.
Ritualist died for the first time. Pretty sure it was the first time he's died.
He's not dead. He's still alive.
Oh, was he injured? Like mortally wounded? And then
he's
Nuka...
mortally... No, he's not. He's sustained or whatever. He's not in critical condition.
It was -6.
He's fucked up. He's at like -6, but he's stabilized. Stabilized, yeah.
With the power of gold, because his character is a Jew. His art's amazing.
Wait, no. He actually healed back up because he ate a bunch of gold.
Yeah,
he's fine.
He can only do it like 160 coins a day or something like that.
But he at the end, he was able to do another 4, so he healed back up.
So do you want to describe our characters? So describe your character to the people.
I am a beer barian, except for now I have been given a horrible psychological ailment where I can't drink alcohol.
Yeah, it turns...
my character's entire motivation is to get really drunk and do awesome shit so I can get into Valhalla.
And
now
what's happened is
my ability to drink.
If you drink it, it turns into ether, right? Or you just get repulsed.
No, it makes me... I think it, like, fucks me up. It just fucks... I just can't drink. I can't, like, tolerate alcohol. My character can't anymore.
Is there a cure?
Oh, if you didn't see the last episode, yeah, like, I got cursed with an inability to consume alcohol.
Hopefully there's a cure, and you can get back to drinking again.
Oh, yeah, I'll get back. Okay. It would be super unfair. My entire character is based around being an alcoholic.
I think it's just a part of your character's development that Bill's designed.
Right.
Here's my character. I don't want to make it too much about me, but my character is a conquistador who's like a mercenary conquistador. And basically, I'm kind of similar to Nuka, but I'm not as fucked up and I don't die as much. I'm just absent most of the time. Basically, I have an ability to do a blade beam because you can do that, but mine's not a power that isn't inherent to me. I have to have a ring in order to do it, and also I can change gods at a whim, and I'm not sure if that can grant me any powers or social things. Some of that shit. Oh yeah, so like even though I sound like an Anglo, because I can end up worshipping any of the gods that the current team worship. I can get around it, so it's kind of a social thing as well. And also, I'm a bit of an engineer, and
here's a question though.
Go on.
For you and most of the B team, because I'm not entirely sure. Are any of you like good aligned characters, or is absolutely everyone involved in this game fucking neutral at best?
I'm just neutral, but I don't know how I'm gonna change.
Because I'm wondering if you're saying you can align with more God.
I'd like to be good, but I'm a mercenary, and I have to do things that mercenaries need to do. So kill innocents or kill people that aren't so innocent. So I think it's for my character it'd be best to be neutral, even though usually I'm good in D&D, but I thought I'd do something different. But I can act more good than I can bad. So in essence, I would be neutral good, but I have.
I mean, I listened to your interview for the.
Oh, my interview, yeah. I got hired on the spot. I wasn't expecting that.
I mean, they hired me, so it's.
What did you think? What impressed
if I can get hired?
Because I made that up on the spot. I barely had an idea of what the character was going to be, and Nuka was impressed.
It's fun. No, I mean, like, Bill really helped me build the character that I was thinking about, and
I missed those two episodes.
I think that's probably a good place to end it since we've been going for like 2 hours, my dude.
Yeah, we have been going. I was going to finish it, but I wanted you to finish your sentences.
Oh no, the only thing is that, like, yeah, definitely if you again check out Nakalevi's channel if you're interested in watching people play Pathfinder, which is essentially Dungeons and Dragons, if you don't know, on the internet. It's very fun. We do have an absolutely fantastic guy who runs the game, is very creative and is fair to everybody, I think. So, and Layman is in it, Naka and a lot of other fun people. We mixed all kinds of shit.
With excellent art from the Witcher List, who kind of visualizes
what's going on. And Witcher List does great art, yes.
So also, I'd love you guys sub to all of Aydin Paladin's channels. I'll put them in the description once this goes off air. Sub to me too if you've come over from her channel.
Sub to Mitch if you're from my thing. Mitch recently restarted his channel. Definitely sub to him. Been a viewer for a long time, and
sub to Hard Bastard because the couple need the subs for their future house. So anyway, that's it. It's been your boy, and you can say Altana Volt if you want. If you want Altana Volt, you gonna say it?
What?
I said my outro. You can say your outro. Altana Volt.
Oh, you want me to? You gonna say Altana Volt?
Yes.
Altana Volt, motherfuckers.
All right, take care, people.